Welcome back to my channel. I'm Karen Ahmed. Today I'm so excited because we're making Calcutta or Kolkata Chilli Chicken. This incredible recipe comes from my friends Insiya and Saptarshi from Bong Eats. I love chili chicken. I usually just make my mom's recipe. Everyone in the house loves it. But recently I was scrolling through my YouTube feed and I saw this recipe from my friends at Bong Eats and I thought, why not check it out? This wins hands down. It has an incredible breading which makes the chicken super crunchy and it's then tossed into the gravy at the last minute. Before I go any further with this recipe, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. I upload a ton of videos every week, so make sure that you're subscribed so you're the first to see them. Also, ring the bell, that's YouTube's new bell icon that will notify you every time I upload a new video. Now, let's get cooking. Right off the bat, I'm going to double Bong Eats recipe because we have a lot to feed in this family. Pre-prep or mise en place is key in any Chinese recipe. Calcutta Chilli Chicken is impossible to make without the signature green chilies. I'm going to slice 2 green chilies. These are large chilies and they will yield about 2 tablespoons. I'm also going to quarter an onion and I'm going to slice it in half again. And I'm going to separate the petals. Now you want about 2 cups of these. Next, I'm going to work on a green pepper. In India, we call this a capsicum. I'm going to cut this into squares about the same size as the onion and I'm going to save 1 cup. I'm also going to slice 2 spring onions diagonally and I'm going to use this later as a garnish. I have some ginger slices here and I'm going to mince about 2 tablespoons. Followed by 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to throw these into my garlic mincer to mince and I'm going to yield another 2 tablespoons. I'm also going to crush some peppercorns in my mortar and pestle and I'm going to use this later. In the same mortar and pestle, I'm going to throw in roughly 2 tablespoons each of ginger and garlic and a half teaspoon of coarse salt. And I'm going to smash this together and keep it aside. Next, I'm going to work on the marinade. In a bowl, I'm going to add the egg white of 1 egg. And to this, I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of dark soya sauce and 1/3 of a cup of Chinese cooking wine. I'm using Shaoxing wine. You can use sherry if you like, or if you prefer to not use any wine at all, you can add some apple juice. Add 1 teaspoon of the crushed peppercorns and all of the smashed ginger and garlic and give this a quick mix. I'm also going to add a half teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Mix this well and break up all the lumps and keep it aside. Next, we're going to work on the sauce. This dish is a dry preparation, but if you want more gravy, you can double or triple this part. Let's start with 2 tablespoons of dark soya sauce, 2 tablespoons of light soya sauce, 2 tablespoons of Chinese cooking wine. Again, you can just use apple juice if you like. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and I prefer to use the homemade vinegar that I always have in my fridge. This is just green chilies that have been sliced and soaked in regular vinegar. I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of ketchup and 2 tablespoons of red chili sauce. I'm also going to add a half cup of chicken stock and 1 teaspoon of fresh pepper. Finally, I'm going to add a pinch of Ajinomoto or MSG. MSG is also known as monosodium glutamate. It's used to enhance the natural flavor of food. Now, a couple of years ago, there was a study that MSG was really bad for you, but all of those myths have been busted. It really does enhance the flavor. If you don't want to use MSG, you can just leave it out. I'm just going to clear up and clean up my board now. Next, I'm going to prepare the breading. I'm going to start with a half cup of regular all-purpose flour and a half cup of cornstarch. I'm also going to add a half teaspoon of baking powder and a pinch of salt, and I'm going to mix this well together. If you're gluten intolerant, you can substitute the all-purpose flour for a gluten-free flour instead. I'm going to add half of the prepared marinade, and I'm going to keep the other half aside. I'm now going to work this into the flour to create a damp breadcrumb-like batter. I have to admit, when I first tried this recipe, I was skeptical that this breading would work. But my friends at Bong Eats have done their homework. This technique comes from Kenji Lopez-Alts from SeriousEats.com. He used this technique to make General Tso's chicken, and I can't wait to try that recipe out as well. I'm going to keep this aside and I'm going to wipe down my board again. I have 500 grams of chicken here. As I mentioned, I'm feeding more people in my family and chili chicken is very popular. I'm using boneless chicken thigh. This is the most succulent part to use, but feel free to use chicken breast if you like. I'm going to cut this into small cubes. The breading is going to make these pieces appear much bigger later, so you want to get them nice and bite-sized to begin with. Once done, just dunk them in the other half of the marinade and keep it aside. I'm also going to quickly prepare a cornstarch slurry for later. This is just 1 teaspoon of cornstarch dissolved in some water. Now for the fun part, let's get the gravy ready first. My wok is smoking hot and I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of oil and I'm going to allow this to get nice and hot before I add in 2 dried red chilies. This is going to flavor the oil. Next, I'm going to add all of the onions and green pepper. I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of sugar. This is going to help the onions caramelize. Once the onions have got nice and golden brown and I'm seeing little bits of caramelization around the corners, I'm going to add in the green chili and the minced ginger followed by the minced garlic. Be sure not to allow the garlic to burn. Now remember that sauce we made earlier? It's time to just tip this in. Just remember, if you want to make more gravy, just double or triple the quantity of this sauce. Bring this to the boil quickly and add in the cornstarch slurry to thicken the sauce and leave it aside. Now that the sauce is ready, the last step is to bread and cook the chicken. I have some oil heating up. I'm going to dip each piece into the flour to coat, and then I'm going to squeeze each piece so the damp breading forms a layer around the chicken, and then I'm going to drop it straight into that hot oil. These pieces are small and it will cook quickly. You want to make sure that you fully cook the chicken at this point, as it's only going to quickly get tossed in the gravy for a bit later. Once done, just lay them out on some kitchen towel to absorb the excess oil. I can already see how this breading technique is amazing. This would be great for any kind of crunchy battered chicken. I'm just going to finish cooking the whole batch. Chicken is now cooked and ready, and the final step is to just toss the chicken in with the prepared gravy and garnish with spring onions. Serve this ASAP with some fried rice or noodles and enjoy this delicious, crunchy Calcutta or Kolkata chili chicken from the street carts right into your home. Thank you so much for joining me on Cravings Food Adventures. I really hope you enjoyed this delicious recipe for Calcutta or Kolkata chili chicken. Make sure to check out my friend's channel on YouTube. Just type in Bong Eats and you'll get an incredible array of recipes. Their work is truly art. Please make sure you're also subscribed to my channel. I upload a ton of videos every week. And ring the bell, that's YouTube's new bell icon that will notify you every time I upload a new video. And the fun doesn't stop there. I upload a ton of behind-the-scenes footage to all of my social channels, so make sure you're following me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Till I see you next time, happy eating, take care, bye. Bye.